What's good, everybody? It's your boy JTL Opposite from the North. Before I get started, make sure y'all smash that like button, share, comment, and definitely make sure you subscribe. All right, so let's get into it. The reason why I titled this, the reason why I titled this Black Lives Do Matter, or This is Why Black Lives Matter. All right. And I want to say this because I know sometimes you got to say things a few times to get people to understand where you're coming from. So check this out. I'm not saying the Black Lives Matter or BLM, organization is perfect because, back in the days when the NAACP started, there was a lot of criticism for that, especially one of, my most appealing and influencing black figures and leaders that even though I wasn't around when they was around, they voice just rings truth every time I watch their speeches and everything. Malcolm X, God rest his soul. He used to call the NAACP out all the time. You know what I'm saying? And they were doing a lot to try to get things going, but he called them out for certain things he felt were contradictions or hypocrisies. And I don't feel there's nothing wrong with critiquing because that's all he was doing was critiquing and calling them out. Like, this makes no sense. That makes no sense. If this is for the advancement of colored people, then why do you have white people on the board? Why do you have white people leading it? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's nothing wrong with that. Just having a conversation and trying to help get your people on the right track if that's what you really mean, if your intentions are good. So when I say Black Lives Matter, I'm not necessarily talking about the movement. I'm talking about just us mattering as black people. And I want to say this also, because this is what gets me fired up every time I see it. When I seen that Gillie the Kid, Lil Wayne, Kevin Gates, and a lot of other rappers like that was basically making excuses for the police and why they don't want to join Black Lives Matter. But what's sad is your core audience and fan base are black people. You know what I'm saying? So if all of those cats and other rappers, especially A$AP Rocky, if they're saying the problem they have with Black Lives Matter slogan is that, every time something is done wrong, it's black people doing it or black people causing this with the police. But my whole thing is, explain to me how y'all keep making music that perpetuates the same. Y'all follow me? Like, that's the problem I have. Why are you making that type of music? Now, if they was on a soapbox as far as legitimate with it, like say if the rappers I named Lil Wayne, Kevin Gates, Gillie the Kid, Lupe Fiasco, Lil Wayne, you know what I'm saying? All these cats, A$AP Rocky, everybody I named. If they were Calvin Butts, y'all look him up. Calvin Butts used to come at the rap community. You know what I'm saying? But he did a lot of great things in the community of New York. He did a lot of great things. He was a reverend. If these rappers were more so positive rappers and they were saying these things, I would get it more. But they're being hypocrites. They contradict themselves every time. Like, how do you carry yourself as a Muslim or, you know what I'm saying, and a rapper? Or how do you say all these great things taking up for the police and all lives matters and all that bullshit, but you still making music that perpetuates the same? And think about it. I seen Brandon Tatum and, you know what I'm saying, and fucking whoever you can think of, Republican and pundits, using these rappers for their argument, right? But at the same time, these rappers they're using for their arguments, they will point these rappers out for being a problem with the black community. This is what we're not thinking about. You know what I'm saying? That's why I did that whole celebrities calling out, Black Lives Matter. And I call it bullshit. I call the bullshit on the plate. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all keep making music talking about guns, killing, robbing, shooting, murder, disrespecting black women. You know what I'm saying? All the type of shit that's got our communities fucked up now. But you got the nerve to come out your mouth and say this bullshit. So I can't stand with them. I know a lot of people, I keep getting comments in the comment section talking about leave Lupe Fiasco alone. But this is what you're not realizing. He's still brainwashed. He still hasn't, reconfigured his Willie Lynch chip. How do you come out your mouth and say if somebody's gonna rob you business-wise, you would rather be a black person? So that means with black people in Chicago or niggas in Chicago are doing dirt, why should it matter? Long as it's black people robbing other black people and killing other black people, right? Nah, you don't mean that. That don't make no sense. Of course it don't make no sense. So why does it make sense for you to come out your mouth and say you would rather a black person rob you business-wise? All that, y'all think about this for you Lupe Fiasco fanatics. If what he's saying is true, that no, black people are doing the wrong things to police, that's why they're getting killed, then explain to me why, and also if it was okay that a black man did to him what he got done to him business-wise, then explain to me why you was going in so hard on Barack Obama. Think about it. He was talking all this shit about Barack Obama, what he was doing to Muslims and all this other stuff in other countries, right? Right? So explain to me why, when a black man was the president doing the same shit a white man was doing, explain to me why that wasn't okay. Now y'all can say, oh, that's different. No, it's not different. Because you got to think, whether it's business office or political office, this is still a business either way. The government is a business. Why you think y'all get taxed on your job checks? It's a business. So you mean to tell me it's okay for somebody to directly fuck you over as long as they're black, but you mean to tell me if they're the president and they do the same shit to you, it's not okay? This is what I'm saying. Like, y'all really take a second to think about that. You can't say one black man is okay to be the devil and then the next black man shouldn't be the devil. You have to put all of that on the same level. You can't compartmentalize that type of thing. And that's what's hurting us. That's the brainwashing. That's why black people don't stick together. Or that's why black people let certain black people fuck them over and then disrespect other black people. Like, think about all the black people you know, right? That, like, say a family member, you know what I'm saying, treat you like shit, treat the rest of the family like shit, mama, daddy, uncle, auntie, cousins, brother, sister, whoever. But then they go out there in the streets and treat other niggas with more respect than they treat the family members that's there for them. That makes no sense. That's what he's doing. All right, now back to my original statement, what I mean. What I mean, you know, the reason why Black Lives Matter is this. When we talk about, and I've said this before, when we talk about Black Lives Matter, no offense to my street niggas, you know what I'm saying? No offense. But what I'm saying is, we're talking about the black people that's following the law and still getting killed. We're also talking about if the police are in the wrong, that's a problem too. This is against, you know, cruel and unjust and unusual punishment for black people, because this is what y'all gotta think about. When police do what they do, they don't separate it. We need to start separating that. And for my real street niggas, my OG-minded street niggas, they gonna know what I'm talking about. Back in the days, street dudes would try to tell the young dudes not to get into this type of shit. That's why it was more family-oriented. Because they felt it had to be somebody they can trust. So that's why, if anything, street dudes, you know, became street dudes with people that they came up with that they felt they could trust. But overall, it was not a cool thing to be in the streets. Selling drugs, robbing people, guns, and all of that, breaking the law because you brought shame upon your family. We already had the issues of, you know, being harassed just for being black. Feel me? So that's the biggest issue that we're dealing with in this country, is the fact that when you're following the law, doing what you're supposed to be doing as a black citizen of this country, you still can get harassed, you still can get abused, they still can possibly, and this is a high possible, you know what I'm saying, just break the law against you because they think they're above the law. You know what I'm saying? They go to different communities and treat them any kind of way. And the excuse keep being, oh, it's because of how we act. And once again, I bring up, Look this up. Back in the days, before the before the 60s, ending of the 50s, when we had all these black communities, banks, schools, hospitals, anything you can think of, you know what I'm saying, suburban type areas, the police was still doing the same thing to us. So now what do you have? You have people so used to the brutal treatment and injustice, that people just start saying, fuck it. Like, think about any other situation you ever been in, and you had to keep trying your best to prove your innocence, and you got to the point where you said, fuck it. Like, look at Tyson, right? Mike Tyson. Go back to his bullshit rape case that them people put on this man. This man was so infuriated of saying for all these years, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, that he had an interview, and y'all can look at this interview, I forget the name of it, the person who interviewed him. But he said to the lady, you know what, with all this that's going on and what I've been through and having to serve prison time, even though I was innocent, I wish I had raped that bitch and her mother. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he said bitch, but he said, I'm wishing I had raped her and her mother. That's when you start saying, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. That's when you know, or you can figure it, that, damn, this person has been through so much shit, they said, fuck it. And I believe, sadly, and I pray for us, I believe, sadly, us as a black people has been through it so much, that's why it has become so high of a level up to now, that we say, fuck it. That we be like, you know what? What's the point? Like, matter of fact, I'm going to tell y'all something. That's where the whole thing comes from. The white man won't let you have nothing. That's where that comes from. In them days, from the 50s back, when we had our own black towns and cities and shit, businesses and everything, schools and everything, our shit was getting burnt down. Police was still fucking you up, killing you, throwing you in jail for nothing. Just bullshit. Like, remember, I said on a couple episodes, my pops told me they had a charge that you actually can catch as a black man if you looked at a white woman too long. Reckless eyeballing. Look that shit up. Reckless eyeballing. And I don't think they changed that to like 63 or 4 or something like that with the Loving case, when they fought to do interracial marriages. So you have a group of people that's like, fuck it. And I'm, like I said again, I'm not saying it's okay, and I pray for my people. But what I'm saying is, when you go through that kind of treatment, you end up just going with what you think is the worst of you. Like I said, just think about them times you said fuck it. And everybody in their life has said fuck it at some point or another. And like I said, it's sad that, it's come to that. But then you look at it, the prison systems, the overpopulated prison systems and all this bullshit, the government still was making money off us doing wrong. But let me get back to what I was saying. Once again, the reason why Black Lives Matter is because for all these cats that street dudes, man, you got to, like, look out for the common good black people. That's the problem I have with Gilly the Kid and Lupe Fiasco and Kevin Gates, Lil Wayne, and A$AP Rocky. Think about those black lives. Stop bringing up the niggas that's not doing right. Think about the black people that are trying. Speak for them. Not every black person is a hoodlum, thug, wannabe gangster, prostitute, whore, and all of that shit. Like I said, even if it's over 2 million black people that commit crimes and do the wrong thing, what about the other 41 million? It's like 43 million black people in this country. Say 2 million people are committing crimes, and mostly I think they say up to 67% of people who commit crimes are going to be habitual. They're going to at least commit a crime twice, the same crime that they did, or get into other crimes. They're going to go back to jail more than once, up to 67%, I believe. So if you take 67% of those people off, over half, let's just break it down to let's say 800,000 black people. They don't speak for all the black people out here trying to do our best. And this is what we got to stop doing, man. Those black lives matter. For all you people that are black that's out here doing the best that you can. We need to speak for you. We need to speak for our grandparents, our parents, sisters and brothers, aunties, uncles. You know what I'm saying? Like, and our friends. If they're doing what they should be doing and God forbid something happened to them, you're supposed to stand up. The police are people who took a job on that they said they would do the best they could to be peacemakers and uphold the law. And if they're not, then they need to be brought to justice. Bottom line, Breonna Taylor case, God rest her soul. I don't care how people try to bring up her past of who she's dated. She has no criminal record. She has no record of drugs. Her boyfriend was there to protect this sister when them police did that no-knock bullshit, doesn't have a record of drugs. He's legally allowed to carry a firearm. Legally. And I think the only thing they said they had on Breonna Taylor was a misdemeanor. Shoplifting or some stupid shit when she was younger. So you can't sit there and tell me that warrants death. And people with that hoax shit, don't come to this channel with that hoax shit. There's a hoax. They're just trying to uprise black people and blah, blah. Shut up. You're not going to sit here, like I just said, you're not going to sit here and tell me that every black person is a criminal. Every time something happens to a black person, and then you see that they're clean, they have a clean record, it's a hoax now. You see the news are late to reporting something, but another black person reports a George Floyd, God rest his soul, a Breonna Taylor situation, God rest his soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see both of them, John, you see somebody who has no record, a Sandra Bland. It's bullshit. They just trying to up-rile black people. That's what the Democrats doing. Fuck the Democrats. Let's look out for each other, man. Those black lives matter. If y'all tired of hearing about the niggas in the streets that's doing wrong, all right, cool. But when something happened to a black person that does not have a record, don't let them dig up, try to make some bullshit and throw it on your people and believe it. I ain't gonna get out there and say nothing. You been not getting out there and saying nothing. This is not the black people that's out there riding for black people. This is the coons that's saying this shit. For all my black people and different races of people that actually care and feel the same way we do, that if it happens to one of us, it happens to all of us. This is what I'm talking about. It's some bullshit going on. And we have to care for our black people that's doing good. Think about your grandparents that, that was there for you to help your mother or father raise you. You know what I'm saying? Your grandmother that might have been the flip lady or the candy lady or something in the community. Your grandparents that was going to church that, everybody around the community knows them, or your parents working hard for you and trying to teach you to stay out of trouble. If you have a problem with somebody taking up for thugs, cool. But make sure that when you see something happen to a black person that was doing the best that they can and was not getting in trouble, you stand for them. At least stand for them. And for all them coon-ass rappers that want to holler niggas this and niggas that, like they taking up for the police, fuck them. Don't listen to them. If they putting out music that perpetuates that, fuck them. And like I said, if Lupe Fiasco wasn't saying the stupid coon shit he was saying, then I would respect where he's coming from. But I can't respect it. Like I said, you're not going to sit there and tell me it's okay for a black man to fuck you over in business, but then you go at the first black president. That makes no sense. That makes no sense what the fuck soever. It doesn't. So I just want to give y'all something to think about. Black lives do matter. For real, they do. Especially the black lives who out there trying to just live their life and care about other people and take care of their family. This your boy JT Opposite from the North. Like, share, comment. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to get at y'all again. See ya!